In a quiet, hidden garden, a shy gray cat named Whiskers watched as other cats played together, laughing and running in the sun. But Whiskers was always alone, sitting in the shadows. No one noticed her. She felt invisible and dreamed of having just one friend who would see her. Then one cold night, something unexpected happened. A cheerful orange kitten named Ember wandered into Whiskers' garden. Ember didn't mind that Whiskers was quiet. They played together, and Whiskers felt happy and loved for the first time. In the days that followed, Whiskers and Ember became inseparable. Together they explored every corner of the garden. Ember loved chasing butterflies, leaping into the air as Whiskers watched with a soft smile. That evening, as the sky darkened, Whiskers and Ember sat side by side in the quiet garden, their fur warm against the cool night air. Above them, the stars twinkled brightly, filling the sky with sparkling light. Whiskers gazed up in awe, her heart swelling with happiness. Ember, full of excitement, lifted his little paw and pointed at a star, his eyes shining. "Look, Whiskers," he said, his voice soft but filled with wonder. "That one is for us." Whiskers followed his paw and smiled. She didn't feel alone for the first time in a long while. The night was peaceful, and the stars seemed to sparkle just for them as if the whole world was celebrating their friendship. Together they watched the stars, their hearts full of warmth and hope for the future. But then something unfortunate happened. When winter came, Ember said he had to leave. "I don't want to go," Ember whispered. "But the winter will be too cold for me to stay. I need to leave now." Whiskers' eyes filled with tears, her whiskers trembling as she pressed her head against him. "Please, Ember, don't leave." "I promise, Whiskers," he said, his voice soft but steady. "When spring comes back, I'll return to you." The garden was quiet and still. Whiskers strolled through the frost-covered paths, her gray fur dusted with tiny crystals of ice. Each step felt heavier than the last, the cold seeping into her paws as she wandered alone. The garden felt as empty as her heart. The once vibrant garden was now lifeless, the flowers gone and the trees bare, their branches creaking in the icy wind. Whiskers paused by the spot where she and Ember had played, now blanketed in snow. The memories warmed her heart for a moment, but quickly faded, leaving her feeling even colder. Whiskers missed Ember's warmth, his laughter, and the light he brought to her world. The garden felt colder, quieter, and emptier without him. In the evening at home, Whiskers whispered to herself, "He will come back. He promised." Then finally, one sunny spring morning, Ember returned. Just as he had promised. The moment Whiskers spotted him, her heart skipped a beat. Her eyes sparkled with pure joy, and she leapt from where she was sitting, her paws barely touching the ground as she ran to him. "Ember, you're back!" she cried, her voice trembling with happiness. The sound of his name on her lips felt like music, and it filled the air with warmth. Ember smiled brightly, his eyes full of joy. "I told you I'd come back, Whiskers," he said softly, his voice like a gentle breeze. Whiskers stopped just in front of him, her heart pounding in her chest as she gazed at the familiar face she had missed so much. "I thought I'd lost you forever," she whispered, her eyes shining with both relief and happiness. "I missed you so much," she whispered, her voice filled with love and happiness. "I missed you too," Ember replied, his voice full of joy, "and now we can be together again." Ember, with his soft orange fur now shining in the sunlight, wrapped his tiny paws around Whiskers. "Whiskers, I promised you I would be back, and I always keep my promises.